Hey everyone, I'm Damien Holbrook with TV Insider, and I'm sitting here with the crew from The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, coming to Netflix. You guys, 37 years later, we're back in Thra. Lisa, let's talk about this idea of going back and exploring what happened before the original Dark Crystal.
You know, the original movie was had such a beautiful, complete world. They had spent years designing that world before they ever made the film. And so, you know, we were able to kind of go back into the history of that and tell this deep, rich prequel story. And we were so excited about who all the Gelflings were before they faced, you know, the troubles that they had that ended up with just 2 Gelfling left by the time of the film. So it's a really rich tapestry, and we were excited to get back into that world.
And you also have the podlings, which are the cutest things in the world. So I was super excited to see them. And now, Taron, you have a deep emotional connection to this movie and to the show.
Yeah, I think like a lot of people, you know, it has a very devoted, dedicated fan base. It's a real cult hit, and I watched it when I was a kid, and as I've said before, I just loved it. So when this opportunity came along, it was a complete no-brainer for me. And it's so, I mean, I hadn't seen it. I've seen a lot of the show, but I hadn't seen it kind of finished. And I saw the very start of the show yesterday, and I was kind of blown away by quite how
Yeah, right.
Like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. Wow, you know, it really does look incredible.
And Louis, it's all practical puppetry. And you directed every episode. What is the difference between directing puppets and people?
Both are very difficult. No, it's interesting. Ultimately, you want to create a moment of truth, whether it's with an actor wearing a costume, going on set, but like 2 hours before we're having breakfast together and talking about, you know, whatever, life and everything. And then afterwards you're like, okay, now you're this super spy doing this thing. Puppets is the same thing, except your lead actor, he's laying in a box, you know, just lifeless.
Not talking at breakfast.
Not talking at breakfast, not having breakfast. They're very, yeah. And then you find you sort of like find a moment, find a truth. But it's interesting. It's like, it's not like I'm waiting and giving, you know, directions, instructions to an actor and then hoping that we get it right. Here, sort of like, it's the same thing, but together we work. And then that's part of the magic. And then gentleman like Taron comes in afterwards and really adds the other 50% that's missing, you know, just the life, the emotion and everything. Yeah.
And that's the thing, like we connect with these characters, and you forget, which I think is the magic of the Henson creations, is that you forget that they're not humans.
I mean, I think that's, you know, when we're in the booth and we're recording, we don't treat it with any less care and intelligence and thought than you would any other vocal performance or you would a live action performance. You know, you want to bring that emotionality, that humanity to it, and I think that's what's so exciting about the Dark Crystal is it's extreme in terms of what happens. You know, these characters go on profoundly kind of moving journeys and really experience these kind of incredible things.
Well, let's talk about your character so people know what they're coming into. What is this guy?
Rian is a Gelfling whose father is the captain of the guard, and they are living sort of in kind of service to the Skeksis at this point in the story, not really aware of their true nature. And he basically, in the first episode, witnesses something horrifying. He sees another Gelfling having their essence drained, which is how the Skeksis are able to prolong their life. And that sets off a chain of events, which is the sort of at the heart of the story, really.
And clearly, the Skeksis figure out something beyond that, because we do know that they're still with us years later in the original film. So we're dealing with a pretty unbeatable evil.
Yeah, they're really horrid. Really horrid.
And your sets are magnificent, and I believe that some of them were actually from the original.
Actually, yeah, the crystal chamber, which is sort of the main Skeksis lair, that was exactly copied from the original set. We had some emotional moments when that set was first built, and Louis and I walked on it. One of our puppeteers had been on the original film, Louis Gold, and Brian Froud, who designed all the characters from the original film, designed our characters as well. So everybody walked on that set, it was like, oh my God, we're really here again. It was really exciting.
That's what I love about this, is that it's a prequel, it's set years earlier, but you didn't go and change everything. Like, I know this universe because I know the film, you know, like, you didn't have to go and update anything. You didn't go with like clever, you know, computer stuff. It all feels like this is the universe we met years ago. You also have Mark Hamill. Yeah, and I know that this is a thing for you.
Your best buddy now.
Yeah.
Talk to us about Mark
Texting
Hamill.
this
What was
how you doing this morning, Mark?
Marky.
Yeah.
It's great. I think, you know, the other thing is it weirdly, he kind of gives us a sort of a validity as a project, I think, because he's such an icon of this era, the era of the original movie. You know, Mark Hamill is about as iconic as it gets in terms of early 80s filmmaking, you know, so having him involved, although he was never involved with the original movie, it weirdly kind of feels right, you know. I mean, did it come out the same year as Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, Jedi. Yeah.
So you know, it's of the world of this kind
It's
of.
all that era, right?
Yeah, it's that
It's
era.
amazing.
Yeah.
And why a show rather than a movie?
Well, the show has so much, you know, we had the chance to just do this big canvas. So we're going back and we have 7 clans of Gelfling. We have multiple locations and geographies where we find the characters. So we have a much bigger canvas to work with. Louis and I were working on a sequel film, and it was Netflix who said, you know, let's do a really big series and do it with the technology and the scope of a film. So it's sort of like many films. It's like 5 films.
Well, that's the great thing, because of Netflix, you can actually sit down and take an epic journey.
Yeah.
And without it feeling rushed of 2 hours or whatever, but like spend the day with these characters and really go through it with them.
It's really thanks to Netflix that we were able to realize this the way that we were, with this level of quality, the resources they gave us to do it, and the fact that they wanted it to be that ambitious. They wanted it to be like the film, but 10 episodes.
Well, congratulations to all of you.
Oh, thanks.
It's beautiful. It's a
Thank
beautiful
you.
show.
Thank you.
The Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance coming to Netflix this summer.